Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. I thought I was going to be doing a solo show today, but Josh is here.
No, I'm here.
I don't know why. I had it in my head that you were not.
I specifically told you I would not be coming.
Well, yeah,
last
but
week.
I mean, prior to I thought you would told me like, oh yeah, I'm going to be out the next couple of weeks, and so I just assumed that. And
I like to make time for this show. You know, a lot of my haters out there
Yep.
say that I don't like to show up, but here I am.
Jim said 2 in a row for Josh, and he heard that Walking Bets might be making an appearance, and that's why he showed up. Walking Bets will not be on the show,
Sadly.
But that was a very funny message that Jim sent me the other day.
I'm looking forward to the big announcement today.
Yeah, can't wait. A lot of things to talk about on the show today. Syracuse basketball playing this afternoon against Pitt.
That's something we could talk about.
Yeah, I think the number's 6.5, and that's not enough points.
Yeah, Jim, you have a real hard on for this Syracuse basketball team right now. Always at me with these lines.
Move
on.
He just said in the chat, Syracuse +7 sounds too good to be true. I don't think it does.
No, I mean, who they played the other night? It was a bad loss.
They covered.
Yes, at the buzzer.
Yeah, at the very end of the game, they covered against Clemson.
They played like 10 good minutes. Starling put up like 19 in the first half, and they were still down 8 at halftime or something like that.
Oh, they were down 18 at halftime.
Or 8. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are we doing? He had like 19 of their 26 points or something.
Yeah, Starling played a great game.
Yeah. Bright spot.
Yeah. Pat said the Notre Dame game was promising. Sure, it was. Notre Dame's not very good.
That's one. Did you ever really convince yourself you had a shot? Like after the first touchdown, I could see it, but then you go 21-7.
Oh, he was talking about the SU Notre Dame game from the other day.
Sorry.
Last week.
Sorry, Pat.
Yeah. But yeah, Ohio State did win the national championship. Sorry, Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a good point though, because like I was watching that with my very much Ohio State fan girlfriend, and she was like, "This game's over," and I was like, I'm not too sure it's over. And then Notre Dame looked pretty good in the second half.
They tried. They cut it within one.
Yeah, it started to come back, but didn't work out.
No,
didn't work out for the
questionable decision to kick a field goal down 16, but
yeah, I didn't like it.
No,
certainly didn't like that decision.
I get it. It was a long fourth, but you're down 16 with 6 minutes left or 5 minutes left, whatever it was. So
you got to go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes and their $21 million roster on winning the college football playoff.
This is the new college football, baby. Who's going to spend the most next year?
Yeah, exactly.
Tune in to see.
There were reports that they were going to potentially lose Jeremiah Smith to the transfer portal, but he already came out and said no.
Nobody's paying me what they're paying me here.
Well, the rumor was he had been offered $5 million already.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he was like, "No, I'm staying." So that means Ohio State probably offered him $7 million.
College football, man. Where are we? What are we doing?
It was interesting. I was listening to McAfee yesterday because when I'm at work at Bellevue and just folding towels all day, I just have ESPN on all day.
Sure.
This is the most ESPN content I've consumed in years since I've been working at Bellevue in the winter. And Jim said Mark might take less than $5 million to switch stations. Oh yeah, it would take a lot less.
Like about $5 for me. I'll jump ship.
Just more than I'm making now. And I forgot what it was. Oh, in
McAfee.
Yeah, McAfee. They were talking about how the SEC might be getting a little scared because the SEC has a lot of money.
Sure, yeah,
like tons of money. A lot of the northern schools have more in terms of alumni that have come out of there. Like you think about a school like Oregon, they have one guy, but that one guy created Nike.
Yeah.
It's it.
Yeah, like I think alumni outside of football, like SEC
Yeah,
schools have the big name football people necessarily.
yeah, but they don't. How many billionaires went to Alabama?
None.
It,
I
like
don't
there
know.
there might be one or two, but
Yeah.
lower end billionaires, as I use
Yeah.
air quotes. But really, but you look at Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan. It's like
Notre Dame.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame. Yeah, well, yeah, Notre Dame is the granddaddy of them all, really. And so you look at those, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, like maybe the SEC isn't going to be the power football conference in a couple of years. Maybe it is the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, some of these ACC schools, Cal, Stanford.
Are you? I don't like what you're doing right now. You're making me want to root for the SEC now. This is like a dichotomy for America.
No. Certainly not going to be rooting for the SEC. Good. I'm glad their time is coming to an end. Potentially. But I mean, another one Pat mentioned, Syracuse has a lot of high-profile people that came through here. One of them was just president.
You just have to
it's say what you want about the guy, and we're not going to get into that, but
he was an SU alumni.
He went to Syracuse and became president. So there's there's a lot of money out there for these northern schools, and not so much for the southern ones. So I think it'll be really interesting in the next couple of years if there are no regulations put in place, which please God put some regulations in place.
Dude, the wealth gap's getting out of control everywhere, even in college football. It's literally going to be small town people in Tennessee being like, I give $20 every paycheck to my Vols.
Yeah.
They're going to win against some guy who's making $1 billion being like, I'll give you $500,000 here at OSU.
Against Phil Knight coming out and saying, I will pay as much money as humanly possible for Oregon to win a national championship before I die.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, Southern America.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting next few years in college football to see. Maybe it is in Alabama and Tennessee and Texas. Texas is one I feel like will stay around.
Yeah.
I feel like Texas will stick around.
There's enough Texans that are wealthy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not, they might not have gone to Texas, but they still love their Longhorns.
Horns up.
Yeah. And so I feel like they might stick around, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. I hadn't thought of that prior to
it's a good take.
It being brought up on McAfee. I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. Like that very well could be something happening in the next
and then
few
that
years.
ruins, in my mind, the actual thing about what makes college football good. I don't even like college football.
No,
I
you don't.
I've made it very clear.
Yeah.
But I think one of the cool things about college football that I just never got into, it's just not a sport for Northerners. It's just not. If you have other pro sports, college sports don't make it. I think college football is cool with the community, the people.
It's not for Northeasterners.
Yeah.
That's
sure.
That's where it falls. Like that's where it falls. Like New York, like Syracuse is New York's college team.
Yeah,
and they can't sell out the Dome for a football game.
Correct.
Like 50,000. They can't do it.
Sure.
It's Pat says that's a crazy take because Penn State is the exception, not the rule. In my opinion.
Yes.
Because Penn State is wild, but.
Sure.
You look at like the rest of the Northeast, no one cares.
Yep, Penn State falls into it fits the wagon though of those southern schools that I'm saying where like it's in the middle of Pennsylvania. There's not much necessarily around it per se to get interested in. I mean, you could drive a couple hours each way to see pro teams.
Yeah.
But it is its own little community
that
has made this town it's thing. That's what a lot of the college schools are in my mind.
But that's why I won't say that it's not for Northerners because I've been to Ohio State.
That's fair.
I've seen the shoe when it's rocking, and it was rocking for Akron almost as much as it was for Michigan. And it's like, okay, that's a wild experience. And I'm sure the big house in Michigan is the exact same way. So that's why I won't say it's not for Northerners, but it's we just got some breaking news in the chat.
What happened?
From Mr. Stone Sports Podcast.
What happened?
Breaking news. Word out of the Stone Sports camp is that the half ounce, half hour will be returning post Super Bowl.
Wow.
With a 3-man booth.
You?
And you.
Me? I'm in the booth.
We're back. I'm assuming he's talking about the two of us, because if he's not, then that's just mean.
I'm in the booth.
He said the quote was, "We're going to be running a 3-man weave of weird news." So be on the lookout for that. Josh and I will be discussing all of the weird news stories from
maybe some mugshot shotties.
Yeah, maybe some mugshot shotties.
Put some in the chat.
Let's get back in. Something that we kind of made our specialty. Stone said we are in the booth, so Excellent. It is us. Something that we kind of made our specialty on that.
If you're on our Twitch right now, drop some mugshot shotties. Give me a little description of what they might have did, what crimes they committed, and we'll rate them.
So
rate them in the chat.
Yeah, but maybe. That might be
during our break.
Yeah, during the breaks, maybe. Stone just said, "Oh, I saw a good one the other day. I'll send it out." Woo! All right, we'll have to check that out. We also have to take a break. So we'll come back. A lot more to talk about. Maybe more in the world of college football, but definitely more in the world of pro football. The coaching carousel, pretty much coming to a close now. I think all the jobs have been taken.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the new coaching hires in the NFL and break down the NFL games this weekend. My Philadelphia Eagles playing the Washington Commanders tomorrow at 3:00, and then the Bills and the Chiefs, the game that everyone has been looking forward to once again, meeting in the playoffs, kicking off tomorrow at 6:30 on CBS. So it should be a great day for college football, or for pro football tomorrow, and I'm very excited. So we're going to take a timeout, come back, and talk about all that and more here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
What did Brent do this time, Pat? Granted, I like Brent, so.
Hell yeah.
Pat said his face just bothers me. I thought you had something.
Fair point. Now, also, Stone, thanks for the mugshot, Shoddy. Can I get some description on what this woman... Oh, domestic violence. She committed the domestic violence? Don't hate that.
Don't hate it.
Don't hate that one bit. I could get down with that. Add a little spice to my life. My life is too clean. I come home every day. I don't worry about getting hit. We add a little bit of spice, a little bit of flair.
Pat said he needs a woman to keep him in line. That's, Pat, I've known you for a long time. That's absolutely true. Oh, your dad said the Saints job is still open. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was just telling me.
Yeah.
See, Rick Shields signed a Live Golf.
Yeah, that was
deal.
Wild.
Somebody was making fun of him, being like, "Why do people like this guy?" He was like one of the first. I think he is like the intro to golf Twitter. Golf content.
Yeah, he's the godfather of YouTube golf. Yeah. It all started with him, really.
Yeah, he's like the first comedian you listen to. Like he's like the Brian Regan or someone that you're like, oh, this is fun. And then you find other dirtier, better people, maybe potentially, but like he's that guy.
He's still the guy.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I think that's awesome. It's a good deal.
Yeah, good for him. Pat said he'd never heard of him until yesterday.
Really?
I'm deep into the YouTube golf stuff, so I watch a lot of it. So.
I figured, I didn't hear about Bob Does Sports or Foreplay, even as a Barstool guy, before Rick Shields. Like if you look up like how to do this in golf or golf video, I feel like Shields is boom.
Yeah,
number one.
He's got the most subscribers.
Yeah.
Pat says he's just not a massive like YouTube guy. That's fair.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's got like 3 million subscribers, I think.
Yeah,
which
it's
for
pretty
Golf
bonkers.
Channel is insane.
Do you hear Bobby Sports the other day?
Oh yeah, with Rory.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sport in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Talking about the NFL a little bit right now. 2 big games tomorrow, but first I want to get into the coaching side of things. Josh, your Dallas Cowboys hired a head coach.
I mean, couldn't be more disinterested in this hire. I think, honestly, what we've come to, Mark, is that out of all 7 jobs that were open, the least, what am I trying to say? The least wanted job by candidates had to be the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's true.
Absolutely.
It's true now. You could go, I mean, look at the Saints. The Saints really got nothing going for them. In a division they shouldn't win for years.
Yeah.
They're terrible. The Bears, I mean, should be good, but haven't been good forever. They have a lot of young, fun things, whatever. The Raiders are an awful job, right? I mean, their team sucks. Their ownership is always whatever.
Jacksonville's a joke.
Yeah.
Because you've already got the quarterback and you already paid him, but we don't know how good he is.
Right. All of those jobs have major glaring issues. The Cowboys, on paper, have their franchise QB.
Yep.
They have a top 5 wide receiver, one of the best defensive players in the league. They have a lot of good things.
Yeah.
And their owner is so terrible, so disliked, so hard to work with that they are the least envious job in the NFL every time it becomes available. And that they are resigned to hiring washed-up OCs who couldn't even call plays for his own team. He tried calling plays 2 years ago, or last year.
Yep.
2 years ago. Did it for a couple weeks. McCarthy took over, and he's called plays since.
Yeah.
Shoddy just ain't that good. It's just not the guy. I told you off here before, too, that if you were going to hire an old OC during Dak's era, I don't even like Kellen Moore, but he would make more sense.
Yeah, he's a much more inspiring choice.
Sure. It's just awful. Just an awful, awful hire. Matt Eberflus coming in as DC potentially is what I'm saying. Who cares?
Pat misheard you and thought you said a top 5 quarterback. No, he said a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, that's true.
Talking about CD.
I said franchise quarterback.
Yeah, franchise quarterback, top 5 wide receiver. And yeah, excuse me. I was scratching my head at this one, especially. I saw someone make a joke, explain in MLB terms. So someone said that on Twitter, and the response was, "This is if the Yankees fired Aaron Boone, had a very public conversation with Derek Jeter to be the next manager, and then promoted Brad Ausmus." I'm like, it's perfect. That's exactly what happened because they called Prime. Jerry Jones called Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders told Adam Schefter, yeah, I talked to Jerry Jones about the possibility of being the Dallas Cowboys head coach.
Right.
It's intriguing. And then they hire freaking Brian Schottenheimer.
Were they like, yeah, we just don't want to draft your kid, so Deion wasn't interested?
I think that's it.
That's probably what it was.
Because he said the only reason he would go to coach in the NFL is if he could coach both of his sons.
Yeah.
And first of all, Shiloh isn't good.
We'll sign Shiloh on the side, undrafted. That'd be fine.
Yeah, but Shiloh isn't good, so it doesn't matter. Did he really expect him to trade up for Shedeur?
I mean, yeah,
when you're paying Dak $60 million,
you can't get out of that.
No, you can't get out of that.
I think taking Deion also wouldn't be great. I think a guy who really doesn't enlighten me or whatever at the professional level, it doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
I don't think he can rally men. I think he rallies boys who think he's cool in college, which works. He's a great recruiter. People like prime time. I think when you actually talk to men who do this as a job, who work and put in things, they don't respect him as much. I think it'd be harder.
I feel like we would have to see because it is Deion Sanders. Like it is there is a certain level of respect that comes along with being Deion.
But he's become a prop now. He's like a celeb now. Like he's not a Dan Campbell who's still like a football guy.
Yeah.
In my mind. Maybe he is off the camp. Maybe like whatever. I haven't watched his YouTube series where he shows him coaching a lot. I'm imagining whatever. Coach Prime.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of that.
I have not seen it.
Who knows? Maybe he is just X's and O's. I doubt it. So no, the only positive about Deion in my mind was that like dude's just a winner. So he's gonna trade the picks if he can, which he can't.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, they just have a problem. I've never been pro moving on from Jerry. For my entire life, I've been pro Jerry.
Yeah.
That ends today. Okay? Mark it known publicly. The best thing for this Cowboys team is for Jerry Jones to be gone. He needs to leave. Will McClay could take over as GM. He's fantastic. We have great drafts. Actually get some confidence in the organization. It's just a joke. It's a joke.
Would you be fine with Jerry just stepping down as GM, or do you want him to sell the team?
I mean, even if he steps down as GM and all that, like, there's just the presence, right?
Yeah.
He's still there. I think the team can only move forward when he is completely gone from football operations, which probably involves him selling the team.
Which
to
he
his
will
kid.
never do.
Right. To his kid, who's just going to run it the same way.
Yeah.
Who also sucks. Screw Steven. I hate Steven, too.
It was funny. Jim had just said in the chat, Stephen Jones would be the GM.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a nightmare. He's just living in a time that has passed him by.
Yeah. Listen, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I love this hire.
Father Time undefeated. Not today. He's Jerry Jones kicking his ass right now for some God knows reason. Okay?
Jerry Jones signed a deal with the devil.
Right. Come on, Time.
In 1995 and said, just give me one more.
I don't want to be too explicit, but come on now, Father Time. Let's get it working here.
He signed a deal with the devil in 1995 saying, I just want one more ring. All I need is one more.
Said,
and
maybe.
I just want to own the Dallas Cowboys for the rest of time. Not my natural life. The rest of time.
Like, he's approaching the years that any old guy does where it's like, you ruin the good stuff.
Yep.
He's ruining all the good he did.
Yep.
Which is very good. I love the good. The good is great. He's created the biggest brand in sports.
Yep.
Fantastic. Now just leave.
Just leave.
Just
sell
leave.
the team, Jerry.
Move on. Anyways, there's a bunch of other coaching ones that are
yeah.
fun.
New York Jets hired Aaron Glenn.
I think that's fun.
I think here's the thing. I also think this is an uninspiring hire because it's just the Saleh hire again.
Yeah.
They hire the trendy DC from a playoff team that did a great job.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Glenn will be a good coach.
Yeah.
A good head coach. I'm not saying I dislike the hire. I just think it's an uninspiring hire because it's the exact same thing they did with Robert Saleh. And I think the Jets need change. At
quarterback?
The Jets need change from the top down.
No, I
You're talking about Jerry Jones, Woody Johnson. Hey, get the hell out of there.
Father Time.
Father
Time is screwing these franchises.
I'm hitting my wrist like I'm wearing a watch. Come on now. Woody is the problem.
Yeah.
And just like Jerry is with the Cowboys. So but I do like Aaron Glenn. I think he did a tremendous job in Detroit and would have done an even better job if they didn't have 38 guys go on injured reserve on the defense this year.
Pretty unlucky year this year for the defense.
Their defense was ravaged by injuries throughout the season. They lose Aiden Hutchinson in like week 2. And that's like, oh man, that stinks. Like, I don't know. Your dad's and Jay said, but Saleh learned from Shanahan. If Glenn brings Campbell's grid, it may be different. Sure.
But Shanahan, isn't Shanahan here and Campbell's down here?
I don't know, man.
Like, what do you learn from Shanahan as a defensive coach?
Yeah, that's true. I've never been on the full on Kyle Shanahan bandwagon.
Oh, you got to get on it.
I don't know. There's something about him.
I said something pretty provocative last night that I'll tell you off break about what I would do to get somebody near Kyle Shanahan in the Cowboys.
Just someone who's like a third of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
No, he's a great coach. I've just never been like on the full on Shanahan bandwagon.
It's his daddy mostly too. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean part of it's his father, and and that's we were just talking about Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, his father's a legend. Who the fact that I found out yesterday that Marty Schottenheimer isn't in the Hall of Fame, and I think that's
crazy,
absurd, absolutely insane. Stone said Aaron Glenn was the only guy of the quote serious coaching candidates that would even consider the Jets because of their history, but that team is such a bleeping nightmare right now. You have to basically start over, but there are reports Glenn wants to keep AR-12. Now, that's the big question, is who plays quarterback for the New York Jets next year. If it's Aaron Rodgers, you're just going to stay in limbo.
Well, I don't
know. The
know.
guy's 41 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Not everyone is Tom Brady. And I know Aaron Rodgers put up decent numbers this year. Yeah. He didn't have a bad season, but this is not MVP winner Aaron Rodgers anymore. This is not Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers. This is not the Aaron Rodgers that we used to have conversations about if he's the most talented quarterback to ever step on a football field.
Which I think he is, personally.
Do you?
I think so. I think he's just eye factor watching that dude.
Mahomes hasn't taken that over for you yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
No. But yeah.
But those were the conversations we were having about Aaron Rodgers even 5-6 years ago.
What do you do there, though, right? Do you bring in someone new and then you're just in rebuild, or do you go find Kirk Cousins on the cheap and do the same thing with a younger-ish guy?
That's the thing is I don't know. Do you get – there's no way he would do this. Do you bring back Sam Darnold?
No, he wouldn't go back.
He would never go back there.
No,
they almost ruined his career.
Yeah.
And they kind of did for a while. And good on Sam Darnold for proving that he can play quarterback at the highest level because he had a great year this year with the Vikings. But
I'm just spitting takes ever. Did Sam Darnold end up playing himself out of the job next year in the last 5 weeks?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. The problem is J.J. McCarthy.
I was saying, when is he healthy? And they're just going to compete in camp, I'd imagine.
But the Vikings now know exactly what they're getting with Sam Darnold.
True.
You're getting 12 wins.
Wow.
Minimum.
Wow.
That's what they won 14 this year.
True.
You're expecting to win 12 games.
Yep.
You're going to win with him. You're not going to win because of him.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's what I think Sam Darnold is for the Minnesota Vikings. Strictly for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm not saying he's going to win 12 games anywhere he goes.
I like this now.
With that system,
yep,
that's what you're going to get. And Sam Darnold, the younger version of Kirk Cousins, says Jim. And that's fine.
Sure.
Kirk Cousins has had a hell of an NFL career.
I think that's a little bit of a shot at Kirk. I think Kirk was better than Sam.
I think so too.
Kirk and the Redskins, kind of cook. Even Kirk in Minnesota, just
Kirk,
an upgrade. I think.
Your father says Darnold is Trent Dilfer, which I think is just not true.
I think he's a little better than that. I think that they took a gamble on him with what we saw in New York, and he definitely did prove them that he's better than what we saw in New York. Him in New York is Dilfer. I think he did take a leap. I'm not saying he's anywhere near above average even necessarily, but I'm saying he's average. He's a 15.
But I think in that system with that talent throwing to Justin Jefferson and everything they've got around him, and Kevin O'Connell, who I think is a fantastic football coach.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're going to get with him. J.J. McCarthy is still a big question mark. Now, they're super high on him.
Yep, obviously.
Yeah, based on where they drafted him, and remain super high on him.
Sure.
I am not.
No.
Personally, I don't think the guy's good. I did not like what I saw out of him in Michigan. I have never really enjoyed it or enjoyed him. So if I'm Minnesota, there's no way I'm letting Sam Darnold go.
Yeah, that's another tricky QB thing. Changing back to the owners real quick. I've had this, it's been on my mind since we talked about Woody and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Those are owners that are old heads who think they know football and will make decisions. Would you rather that, or would you rather what's going on in Jacksonville with a guy who's just got unlimited money, has zero clue about football, and doesn't push it on you? He's like, I don't know anything. Here's the money. You guys just make it happen. Which one do you want?
I kind of want
a little direction, I feel like, out of the owner. I don't know.
A little bit, but here's the thing. If he hires the right people,
sure.
The Shad Khans of the world are perfect.
Yes.
That if he gets the right people around him, that's the guy I want. But the likelihood of that guy hiring the right people is much lower.
He has so little expertise that he doesn't even know who the right guy is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they hired their coach too.
The Tampa Bay OC, Liam Cohn.
Yeah, Liam Cohn. Which
weird. Did you hear this?
Yeah, what a situation that way. It was kept secret because but it was all based around the Rooney Rule because the Jags hadn't interviewed a minority yet. So, like, they're going to get hit with the Rooney Rule. It's very strange.
And Tampa had said they just renegotiated with the guy. He signs this brand new, like, 3 or 4 year deal.
Yeah.
They're very excited. And then he just doesn't return phone calls for a month or something.
Yeah.
And is negotiating with the Jaguars against his contract. You did that for Liam Cohen?
Yeah.
No disrespect. Liam's fine. Their offense was actually the best part of the team, obviously.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Baker was cooking.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen? That's who we are going to get draft sanctions for?
Yeah.
What the hell are they doing?
That's what happens when you don't have a direction.
Also, shout out back-to-back years the Bucs lose their OC. Dave Canales goes to Carolina. And
That's right.
Yeah. Baker just making guys head coaches.
Yeah. It's almost like Baker Mayfield's good and always has been and just got a bad rap.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I've always been on the Baker train. So
couldn't agree more.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a very strange situation going on in Jacksonville. Especially, like you said, with the contract and Stone said I wouldn't be calling Tampa to trade anytime soon. It's fair.
Correct.
They are furious about this situation, but
and in all the head scratchers, all the Pete Carroll's coming back, all the Brian Schottenheimer, really? This guy? Mike Vrabel to the Pats was the one thing this year that just was like made total sense.
Shock.
Of course.
Shock.
Yeah. Yes. That's what you need sometimes. You're just like, this is the perfect hire for us. This makes 1,000% of sense.
Yep.
Perfect. No worries. Let's get the football.
Yeah.
That one made all the sense in the world. Thanks for keeping it easy, Kraft.
And Stone said he's a Pats fan. Stone says he's happy. Yeah, most Pats fans are.
Right.
Now, I do think Jerron Mayo got the shaft from Bobby Kraft and, all the higher-ups there in New England. Certainly didn't get a fair shot. Was that team supposed to be good? No. They just wanted to hire Mike Vrabel.
I know you hold it on the last winning the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
I also hold it on the fact that dude started Jacoby Brissett for 6 weeks. And we see what Drake May is now.
Yeah, Drake May's good.
No chance. No chance you start that guy for 6 weeks and think you get a job here next year.
No. Very, very another weird situation with the coaching in New England.
Yeah.
We do have to take a timeout, a little overdue. So we'll be back to discuss the games this weekend here on Outside the Box Score. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek. Stone, shameless plug. He wrote an article about the Jerron Mayo, Mike Vrabel situation in New England. So everyone go check that out. I saw him tweet it out.
I didn't. I would I'd read that. See his take on it. Got a big night of tennis ahead of us, Marky.
Yeah, we got to bring that up too.
I don't know if you want to talk it on the show or here.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes.
Zverev and Sinner.
Yeah.
I mean, Sinner was like inevitable. I felt like it was crazy. Everyone before him.
What's the line on that?
Oh, it's got to be pretty.
I was gonna say it's got to be
Sinner in the semis against Ben Shelton minus 2,000.
No shot.
2,000.
Really?
Yeah. Now Shelton's no Sinner or no Shelton obviously, but I'd imagine it's minus 300.
Holy cow!
So you can get Zverev like plus 225.
Jim said Keys with a nice win, and Stone said need your Novak take, Josh.
I mean, here's the thing. I was telling you, tennis Twitter is broken right now. They don't know what to do. Roger played 1,500 games, never retired, all this, blah, blah, blah. Dude tore his hamstring.
Yeah.
Is it annoying? I'd be more mad at the tournament for scheduling these as separate events. So fans, if you didn't know, fans needed to buy a ticket for the Novak match and the next semi with Sinner. So they're pissed because they just spent, $500, $600, whatever it is, to watch Novak. He plays a set and retires.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Guy had a torn hamstring. What do you want him to do? You want him to just stand there for 2 sets and further hurt himself, or just not give you good tennis anyways? It is what it is. He won 10 majors in Australia. He's been open about loving Australia. You kicked him out of the country in 2020. You held him for ransom, essentially, during the COVID years. He's had some tough things. He still loves Australia. And then he goes there this year. He gets mocked by the local news, gets screwed over. Don't boo the guy.
Yeah.
What did he do?
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. During the break, we were just talking a little bit of tennis, the Australian Open men's final tonight. Zverev and Sinner facing off in that final. A big win last night for the underdog in the women's side of things. Why am I drawing a blank on her first name? Madison Keys.
That's right.
Madison Keys taking on Arina Sabalenka, number 1 overall seed. So shout out the American.
Go America.
Go America.
Shout out Madison Keys. She got married this offseason to her coach.
Really?
Yeah, she made a lot of changes. Changed up a bunch of things and married her coach.
That's certainly one way to go about it.
Hope that partnership works.
Yeah.
Honey, I'm going to have to move on from you.
I was going to say, it'd be a real shame if she had to fire him.
Yeah. Just in the tennis world. I'll still love you. But,
yeah.
I'm gonna go a different direction.
I'm going to hire Andy Roddick. So a little bit of tennis talk during the break. If you want to listen to our conversations during the break, you can always check us out on my Twitter account at @marker_box or on twitch.tv/marker_box. Yes, it's the same as my Twitter account, just to make things easy. Or you can go to the Score 1260 YouTube channel. We're live on all 3 of those platforms every single week. That's why I mention all these people randomly saying things. It's not because I just have little people talking to me in my head.
He just gets funny.
Yeah, a little bit. But there is a live chat that we read as well. So you can talk to us during the breaks and just talk to us throughout the show. You don't even have to call in. So
Mark, that camera's not even on. We haven't been live in years.
This show isn't live on the air either. It's like the John Mulaney SNL sketch, the Little Tykes podcast set. We're just sitting here in front of microphones. They're not on, and never have been. But wanted to talk about the NFL games this weekend. 2 games tomorrow. My Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders. 3:00 on Fox. Spreading that game is 6 for Philadelphia. I think that's a big number.
I do too.
Are you gonna do the thing again? Are you gonna pick the commies?
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying that I like Daniels a lot. I think it's a fun story. I think it's hard for rookies to win games in the playoffs this late.
Yeah, no, a rookie has never won a playoff game this late.
Is that right?
Yeah, no rookie quarterback has gone to the Super Bowl.
Well, there's a first for everything. But ultimately, Mark, I find that I may need the Philadelphia Eagles this week as a safety clause.
Okay.
I was shocked to hear this week that a friend of mine who's a Broncos fan, Burb, as you know, he was like, well, it came down to it. I can't see the Chiefs win. And I was like, what? And he goes, well, I'm going to have to root for the Bills. And I go, no, you don't. And he goes, so you're telling me a Super Bowl against the Eagles? I go, I'd root for the Eagles. And he goes,
yeah.
What? And I'm like, I loathe the Bills. It goes above all division rivalries. I don't care. We haven't even been the division is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't want it. But also, I'm one of those guys who's like, if the division does well, it's good for me. Be like, what are you going to do? The Eagles won the Super Bowl this year. They're really good. It's hard to win in a good division.
Yeah.
And I think division strength is helpful at times. I'm a strong proponent of that. So this year, I'm like, both the guys in our division went to the NFC Championship game. Tough year. We lost it. It is what it is. I would, in a heartbeat, root for the Eagles over that. So in the off chance that the Bills win tomorrow, I think I need the stronger team, and I think that Philly is the stronger team.
Okay.
So I I'm going to be pulling for Philly tomorrow.
All right. I obviously will be pulling for Philly. I just think 6 is a lot of points. I think this one's going to be tight. I think Jaden Daniels is tremendous.
How did you guys split this year?
1-1.
Okay.
Yeah. Playing team third time is always the hardest.
Sure.
So if I need to see a little bit more out of Hurts, I need to see a little bit of passing ability. which he has not really shown much of in the
about a month.
Birds' first 2 playoff games. So I would like to see a little bit of that. Saquon Barkley, for as great as he is, and he was the best running back in football this year, easily. You can't just hand it to him 30 times and expect him to break off for 25 yards every single time.
Maybe you can.
You might be able to.
Maybe you can.
It's not going to be every time. It'll be close, but the guy's tremendous. But I need to see A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert getting a little bit more involved.
I mean, not for nothing. Maybe that's just the new look NFL in the playoffs. Guys that throw a lot, you leave yourself up for more mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Josh Allen's game last week. He didn't throw for more than like 130 yards.
No.
He just didn't turn the ball over, and they won the game.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the key to success they've had. I pray that he turns the ball over tomorrow. I'm trying to find a line on that, but he just doesn't throw the ball enough to really leave himself in windows where he's going to get picked off. So it's just all about safety in the playoffs. And for a team like Philly, where you have such a great rush and the up chance that, like, let's say he's only getting 3 yards a carry, you just push, and that's a first down, Mark.
Yep.
That's how the Philly works.
That is how the Philly offense works sometimes. Yeah. And so I'm very excited for the game. Moving on to the other one, Bills Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the Bills, Josh.
That's what you think?
I just think it's the Bills. I don't think he can just keep losing to Mahomes in the playoffs. And I've said on this very show, I'm done betting against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I bet Bills money line on Wednesday.
Well, let me take you back here, Mark.
Okay.
The Chiefs are undefeated at home this season, yes?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. The Chiefs, this Pat guy, he gets compared a lot to Tom Brady. Tom Brady had a little brother for a lot of his career. That little brother was Peyton Manning.
Yep.
Josh Allen is his Peyton Manning. He's a very good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe once in a while he might be able to sneak in for the big one. But he can't sneak by Brady for the big one. He's going to sneak by somebody else who, if Brady gets behooved somewhere else.
Yeah.
Can he beat his Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game? I certainly don't think so.
You know what? If I will be all in on your
little
Brady, Manning, Mahomes, Allen comparison if the Bills lose this game.
That's fair.
I need
four. You need to see it 4 times.
I need to see 4 because
third time not enough.
I need to see. I need to see it happen more because that took place over the course of 15 years.
Sure,
that those two were doing that. So I'll start to believe it more, but I just think the Bills are the better team. I think the Ravens are better than the Chiefs. Bills just beat them in the playoffs. I'm just going based off of my gut in this one, and my gut's telling me it's the Bills this time.
Did you see the stat too that if the Bills made the Super Bowl and they don't commit any turnovers tomorrow, they'll be the only team ever to make a Super Bowl with less than 10 turnovers throughout the season?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Bills team just does not turn the ball over with a running quarterback. Guy just holds on. I mean, I hate Josh Allen more than anyone I know. And every time he runs, he holds on to the ball. He's smart for the most part.
He's gotten so much better at
He
that.
takes so many hits, too, and he gets up every time. I mean, just stay down, Rock. Stay down. It's impossible. The guy's infuriating to watch if you're rooting against him. If you love him, I mean, he's got to be electric. I mean, he's got to be the most exciting person in all of football.
Now, and part of the reason I want the Bills to win so bad is my father and I are on a crash course. My team versus his team in the Super Bowl would be just electric. And if there's any team, like, obviously, I would be devastated if the Eagles lost the Super Bowl to anybody.
Sure.
But if there's any team that I would be like, okay, fine.
Pops.
It'd be Buffalo.
Yeah.
You know, a team that I root for whenever they're playing someone that isn't the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
A team that, I own, I've got Bills shirts and sweatshirts and hats. Like, I've got a bunch of Bills stuff in my
Someone
house.
Just call you a pseudo fan.
I essentially am also a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah.
And so it would sting, but it wouldn't drive a stake through my heart like it would if it was the Kansas City Chiefs again. Yeah. Because I know it would come down to another BS penalty like in the last one.
I mean, honestly, the Chiefs, I think it's come to a head now. The Chiefs for years have always gotten calls.
Oh,
We've
for
always
years.
Known. But now, I mean,
now
the
they're
people,
acknowledging it. Like now, like
Troy Aikman's acknowledging it.
Yeah.
On Monday Night. I mean, the people are pissed.
Pat Mahomes had to come out and be like, I don't think this is true.
I'm scared. I'm scared of what they're going to overcorrect now. The NFL, they might be like, all right, no calls. We're going to let the boys play tonight.
Yep.
Deion Dawkins going to hold every play or something. I don't know what's happening, but it could be a nightmare situation. Or they just want the weapon. And I just embrace collusion. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
But Pat Mahomes, by the way, looking to become the first quarterback ever to three-peat in the Super Bowl. So
I mean, the storylines are all great this year.
Yeah,
Washington wins, the rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Buffalo finally getting over the hump, back in the Super Bowl since whatever. The Eagles are also a great story with Saquon. Like, just really good storylines.
Yeah, it's 4 teams that I think the NFL is thrilled have made it this far.
Yeah.
You've got, like you said, the Chiefs are, could they three-peat? It's the modern dynasty. They're the modern Patriots. Like, they're always going to want a team like that in. The Bills have maybe the most loyal fan base in the entire sport and are all psychopaths and great for the NFL when they get to show shots of Bills Mafia, jumping through tables, doing all that with the star quarterback and Josh Allen and they lost 4 straight. Can they finally do it? The Eagles, Saquon Barkley, historic year, should have broken the all-time rushing record. Should be much in more consideration for MVP. I know he was a finalist, but no one's talking about it. And in my opinion, Allen and Lamar both had great years. They were both fantastic. But if anyone's going to finish third, it should be Saquon Barkley, and it should be kind of close.
He's got a strong case to win it.
I think he's got a strong case to win it, too, because he was doing things that we haven't seen running backs do in 30 years.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a very strong case to win it. Same with Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry had a tremendous year and should be in the conversation more than he is.
But they don't have a quarterback in front of their play card. Yeah.
Which I think is stupid.
1,000% agree.
I don't think there's been a single more valuable player in football this year than Saquon Barkley, because without him, that Eagles offense would be not
Just ask
very
KJ
good.
Brown.
Yeah.
Ask KJ Brown how he thinks he'd be reading a book telling you, no, man, without Saquon.
I love the book on the sideline, by the way. A lot of people didn't like it. I love it.
I think it's a funny shot. I think he's like, no, don't read into it. The game's over. And I'm like, man.
I really believe him.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he was doing that as a slight to anyone.
Okay.
I think he just likes to read on the sideline. They said he's been doing it all year. They just hadn't shown it on camera. He just reads on the sideline. I think it's funny.
Nobody gets more fake drama about their team than the Eagles.
Oh, absolutely. They've been manufacturing drama about the Eagles all year.
I don't know if it's because the Cowboys were just not in the playoffs this year or something. They're just not as competitive. They had a backup all year, but they needed someone to just make fun of in the NFC. After they win last week, they come out and go, I mean, can they even win the next game with Jalen Hurts? And you're like, they've been unstoppable all year. What are we talking about?
They won 14 games. Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl before.
Right. I hate him too, but it's just so silly. The talking points that you just have to make up some conversation about. It's there's so many more interesting things to talk about. Why do we have to manufacture some BS for the Eagles?
They're just good.
Yeah. They're just a good football team.
They're just a good football team. And the Commanders, you've got the rookie quarterback trying to go to the Super Bowl for the first time. It's a historic franchise, multiple-time Super Bowl winning franchise, who's had to come back from the depths of hell with their old owner. And they get a new owner, and it's like, oh, yeah, things are good in Washington again. So it's going to be a really fun day of football tomorrow. I can't wait for it. We do have to take a timeout.
Sure.
So we're going to do that, and then we'll come back. I'm going to make this the last commercial break because we are way over time. So timeout, come back, wrap things up here on Outside the Box Score. I do hate taking breaks. This is true. We're having a good conversation. Who wants to interrupt a good conversation,
I think to really embrace my generational Bills hatred, if they make the Super Bowl, I'll go live 4 nights before that on Twitter or something, and I can.
My mic is on.
What do you mean?
Yeah, they were saying turn my mic on. My mic was on.
They're trolling you, Mark.
Yeah.
If they make the Super Bowl, though, I'll go live 4 nights before in that 2 weeks, right? And I will stream each one of their losses from the 90s. And you can watch along with me as we watch the Bills train wreck in the Super Bowls. 2 of them will be really fun. The other 2 will just be kind of fun. Well, actually, the Norwood one will be pretty fun, too.
Yeah.
So we like to have fun here. That's what I'll do.
Pat says it's still off. Now he's messing with me because Jim already told me my mic was on. Is Josh in favor of a fan hedge bet on Buffalo?
For me, personally?
Yeah.
Like, would I bet Buffalo?
Yeah, I doubt it.
No, never in a million years.
Yeah.
There's no amount of money, Jim. I've said this with people who hedge their happiness, too, like the other way. Like Bills fans who bet on the Chiefs this weekend. What are you doing? Who are you fooling?
I'll do that during the regular season. I would never do it during the playoffs.
No, yeah, I mean, the regular season, I guess I can understand a little bit more. But, in the playoffs, who are you fooling? What amount of money would you need to make it okay that your team lost? I don't have the amount of money to bet, personally, to make it worth my time.
Yeah, Jim said to hedge your happiness, bet Philly and Buffalo. Yeah, no, that would...
No. Yeah, not how I do it. Now I'm in the game.
Yeah.
And that bet really is just to be like, well, at least if they lost, I made $100. But $100,
yeah,
the hell do I care? I need to bet all the money I have liquid right now to do that. That's not.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Josh Boheman studio with me as well.
Ski.
What the hell was that?
I'm trying a new thing.
All right, that's Josh's new thing, apparently. Actually, that thing you said, say it again.
Ski.
It kind of sounds like skiings, which is bang. Which is the last thing we're going to talk about. The Paul Skeens 1-of-1 MLB debut card has been found. The Pittsburgh Pirates offered a huge haul in exchange for this card. It was 30 years of season tickets directly behind home plate for Pittsburgh Pirates games. It was a meet and greet with Paul Skeens in which you would get 2 Paul Skeens signed jerseys. A special spring training experience, a softball game hosted at PNC Park
with
for you and 30 people, and maybe the piece de resistance.
The creme de la creme.
The creme de la creme. You get to go to a Pirates game with Livy Dunn and sit in her suite.
I mean, I would have put that right below season tickets in terms of value.
Yeah. So the card was found by an 11-year-old in California. He has declined the Pittsburgh Pirates offer. The card is going to go to auction, estimated probably around $1 million.
Yeah,
for the value of this card. It went to PSA, got graded, came out at 10.
Oh,
autographs at 10, cards at 10. So that's huge. Josh, if you pulled the Paul Skeens card,
here's the thing, Mark.
What's your move?
Where I'm at, this is what I was talking about last night. I had said, ultimately, I probably don't take it either. But I don't know. I'm conflicted because if the kid lived anywhere not in the furthest western coast,
he really shouldn't,
right.
California.
And he's 11. If you're 16, 17 even, I think I'd take that in a heartbeat. It's just one of those things you can't. Money isn't everything to me in my mind, right? I mean, I think that's what you learn and stuff, obviously. For me now, that milli is going to be a lot more important than whatever the experience is. I'm not moving to Pittsburgh right now. I'm not, that's not where I'm at in my life. But, for a kid, if you're 16, 17, you're I guess I could be a Pirates fan now. This is the type of thing where you're I'm just now locked in. I'll go to Pitt. I'll go to UPenn. I'll become a Pittsburgh guy. I'll just have season tickets forever. My family's here. This is our thing. If you're a baseball guy, I assume you're trying to pull this. You're a pretty big baseball head.
Yeah.
He's 11. He probably just luck of the draw here for the kid. But I don't know. I feel like this is a real parenting thing. And like again, he's in California, so I get it. But if you're like anywhere within 5 hours of Pittsburgh and the ages of like 15 to 20 and you pull this, you're taking that all day.
Yeah.
But even as the older crowd, if you're not in Pittsburgh, you're like, why the hell do I need 30 years of season tickets? Which like are sick. Let's not. Somebody was like, what does that mean?
It's a great part of the deal.
Yeah, it's a generation of you taking whoever you want to games. It could be awesome. If you live a couple hours away, you're only going to 20 games a year. I get it. It's not as great, but then you sell the tickets on the other ones. You still make money on it. You're not. It's not like you're not making any money. Like people are like, so they didn't include any money, and you're like, I mean, they gave them season tickets for 30. Yeah, I mean, you could sell those, probably make a decent side biz just selling tickets behind home plate to PNC Park for every game. The other thing is like the Pirates are just bad, right? Like you have no we talk about bad owners, talk about bad ownership.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Minga. The Pirates are one of the worst.
Not as bad as John Fisher out there in Sacramento now, soon to be Vegas, formerly Oakland.
Yeah, he's 1-1, A1.
Yeah, he might be the worst owner in sports.
Yeah,
he's up there because he moved a team without a destination.
Yeah,
he wants to go to Vegas. They don't have anything approved. There's no stadium approved. Vegas doesn't want him.
Yeah, so now he's just screwed Oakland.
Yeah.
Left him there, and now he's in limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moron. Anyway, on the tickets thing, I'm in the exact same boat as you. If this happened to me and I'm 5 years younger, I'm like, hell yeah. 30 years of season tickets to Pirates games? Absolutely. Pittsburgh's not a bad drive. I've been down there before. It's a beautiful ballpark.
I go to 9 Reds games a year.
Yeah, exactly. You're seeing the Reds. Like, I would absolutely do that. But at this point in my life, I'm selling that card for a cool millie. Yeah.
Like, there's a sweet spot where this deal is like the coolest thing of all time. Because even like the jersey, like you get 2, you're gonna keep one for a man cave or something,
and you're gonna sell the other one.
Yeah. So you sell that. You probably get him to sign a ball while you're there still too, or something. You meet Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
Which is sick. Like if you're a younger kid, like you think like maybe I could be a friend. Maybe I could be friends with Paul Skeens.
Am I gonna be friends with Paul Skeens?
Am I gonna try and rizz up his girlfriend? What am I doing?
Baby Gronk. What if Baby Gronk pulled this?
Baby Gronk. She'd have to recline. She'd have to rescind the offer. Because that's the thing too. Like I think the older you get, either you don't care about Livy Dunn or you care too much
too much about Livy Dunn.
It's uncomfortable for her, and then there needs to be a security person in the box.
But you would also get a Livy Dunn autograph, maybe a couple. Get a ball signed by Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn. That'd be a pretty good one.
What do you even place a value on for that?
I have no idea.
It's invaluable.
Depends on the guy buying it.
Invaluable. Yeah.
Depends on what someone is willing to spend for
the
Paul
creepy
Skeens.
42-year-old Pirates fan who loves Livy Dunn.
Yeah, big Livy Dunn fan. Which aren't we all? But
true.
No, but good on the kid, good on the family for I think making the right decision.
Yeah.
They're gonna make a lot of money on that card, and the other thing for me too is, and that's just me being a collector. I'd be the asshole that's like, do I just keep it?
There's no reason to keep it.
No, there's no reason to keep it, but I'd be like thinking about it.
Do you renegotiate with the Pirates? Be like, what more could you give me?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah.
You're like, I have it now. It's not a joke. I need a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna go get $1 million somewhere else.
Yeah. Jim said, final note, does SU cover today? And also told me to hit the dump button. Yeah, I realize it's too late now. You can't say that. You can't say a-hole. Yeah.
Hey, what?
Yeah, yep. It's one of the weird ones that you can't say. So I apologize for that, but I waited too long to hit the dump button. Final note, does SU cover today? No, they do not.
No.
Plain and simple. SU
Call
does
the number,
not cover. Call the number, Jim. I've been telling him that on Twitter too. I'm like,
I saw you do that the other day. Jim, get some help.
Jim, call the number.
1-800-HELP-NY.
And that's how we're going to end the show. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. We'll see you then. Thank you for listening. Peace.